From time to time, I believe the Young Turks have told Democrats and President Obama, hey, you might want to actually go for a progressive position. It might actually help you with the electorate. I know that the normal assumption in Washington and the Obama administration is, oh my God, don't be progressive. Oh no, you'll cost yourself independent voters. It's not the right way to go. Well, it's interesting because when elections come around, all of a sudden, everybody in Washington is a progressive, certainly President Obama. And, he went and said that he's in favor of gay marriage. By the way, then we found out the numbers are actually trending in that direction and have now tipped over in that direction. And all of a sudden, he's on the right side by being progressive. Okay. Now, on the issue of immigration, we'd been saying, hey, can you push for the DREAM Act? And, he says he tried back in 2010. The Republicans did block it. That part is true. But he said, oh, I can't do anything. It turns out that's not true. He could have done an executive order all along. He did. But hey, we'll take it. Better late than never. And guess what happened? The polls are in. So on President Obama's policy of saying if you're under 30 years old and you came over before you were 16 and you've been here 5 years and you graduated high school or you served in the military, we're not even going to give you citizenship, but we're going to say you get a 2-year break where you can legally work in the country. Here's what the results are. 64% agree, 30% disagree. Now, this is on the one issue where progressives don't always score that well, depends on the policy matter. But even here, when they did the progressive position, giant, crushing victory. Well, when you break it down further, well, it's unsurprising that Republicans overall oppose it. They're at 56% opposing, right? But even that's not that high. And Democrats overwhelmingly support it, 86%. That's not surprising. The last number is the interesting one. By a 2-to-1 margin, basically, independents saying, we really like this policy. So, but wait a minute, I was told for 3.5 years by the Obama administration and every dumb pundit in Washington that if you actually do progressive positions, well, you would lose independent voters. It turns out independent voters love progressive positions. In fact, let me give you one other stat that's not related to this, and then we'll come back for one more important part of this story. On the issue of Bush tax cuts, right now, Democrats are in the middle of folding on that. There's a new article out today about, the Republicans, they got us over a barrel on this thing. I think maybe we should extend the Bush tax cuts for a while. Over the barrel? How? What are you talking about? First of all, you hold all the leverage because the Bush tax cuts run out normally at the end of this year. Second of all, if you ask the American people, do you know what percentage favor a permanent extension of all the Bush tax cuts, which is, by the way, Mitt Romney's official position? 18%. Whoa, Sigdelon! The country is massively progressive. All those Bush tax cuts, only 18% support extending them permanently. When you say, hey, how about just extending them 1 year? Only 26%. No, they don't want it. They don't want the Bush tax cuts. They know that it favors the wealthy. They're not in favor of that because the country is fundamentally progressive. And during elections, all of a sudden, of course, the Democratic Party realizes that now President Obama has made it one of his central planks, although he didn't do it in his first term, that, my God, I won't extend those Bush tax cuts for people making over $250,000. I hear it's polling well. Yes, that's what we've been telling you. Can you imagine how well you would be polling if you actually did those progressive things rather than promise them right before an election? And look at the immigration issue. You do that and it turns out, yes, the people are on your side. And what's more interesting, and this is the last interesting fact about this poll, is that once you do something and you lead, actually more people follow. And the poll numbers for that issue and for you overall all increase. So I want to give you a quote from Loretta Price, who's 65 years old, lives in Florida. And she said, I thought this was so telling, quote, at first I was really against it, but after sitting down and thinking about it, a lot of kids here are good kids. I think it was the right thing to do. Will you look at that? What happens when you actually show leadership? People rethink their positions sometimes, go, hey, you know what? You're right, I know one of those immigrant kids, they're a good kid. Nah, you're right, let's go in that direction. Wow. Gee, who's been telling the Obama administration, for Christ's sake, will you lead? Will you act strongly? Will you be progressive? It's not just good for policy, it's actually good for politics too. Well, I hope they figured out we're right, although I'm not convinced because right now, like I told you, the Democrats and the Obama administration thinking even if we win the election, right afterwards, we'll do the grand bargain, which largely agrees with Republican proposals. But of course, that's not based on the polls. That's not based on winning elections. That's after you win the election, you actually deliver for the guys who helped you win it, which are your donors. Of course, that's the reality in Washington. So all these polls are lovely and show you where the American people are, but they don't show you where our politicians are, because our politicians don't give a damn about us. They care about the people funding their campaigns. Have I mentioned Wolfpack before? Do you know that the website is wolf-pack.com? Is anybody aware of that? No? Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I'll give it a shot, wolf-pack.com. Only way we're going to get out of this mess.